Hello children, welcome to video classes, and I'm really happy that you're watching this video. And before further go, let's get started a video class. So today I would like to start the reader. Okay children, so in our reader we have a poem called The Eagle, isn't it? The Eagle. And let's read the poem and the analysis of the poem. And this particular poem, The Eagle, was written by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Okay children, obviously it is a very small poem, but it have a lot of meaning in it, and we have to understand what exactly the poet meant while he was writing this poem. Okay children, let's get started. So actually before starting the poem, we have to know that here our writer, our poet used the imagery or the imagining power that we have to use while we're reading it, isn't it? He used imagery, the poetic expression, isn't it? We have to understand it, right children? So let's read the poem, then you can understand what exactly it is. While we are reading, while we are understanding this particular poem, we would get a kind of images in our mind because of this imaginary poem. Okay children, let's start. Let's read the poem. He clasps the crack with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely lands. Rigged with the azure world he stands. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. He watches from his mountain walls, and like a thunderbolt he falls. It was a really amazing poem, children. Really amazing poem, that I could say that, because he uses, the poet uses a very beautiful language, and very understandable. We could find imagines, images and alliteration and all. So I hope we already discussed what exactly alliteration is all about, and he used some rhyming words like lands, stands, crawls, walls, and falls. These are the rhyming words, isn't it, children? Yes. So actually here we have the meanings of the certain words. Clasps. What do you mean by clasps? Like holds firmly, holds very strongly. Okay. And crag, high rough rock. Okay. High rough rock. And rigged means, rigged here, surrounded on all sides, surrounded on all sides. And bright blue, azure means bright blue. And thunderbolt means flash of lightning and thunder, the sound, isn't it? So if we go into analysis, you can easily understand the words and even uh, the poem. Okay children, yes. And let's read again. He clasps the crag with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely land. See, let's figure it out. The first lines. He clasps the crag with crooked hands, as we discussed. Clasps means holds firmly, and here we could see that he just hold. Our eagle just holds it very strongly, isn't it? Because if the eagle holds it very firmly, very strongly, what will happen? He cannot fall, isn't it? And then, so that is with his crooked hands. Crooked means, a kind of weird, a kind of different hands, because the shape of the shape of these hands are very difficult and different from others, isn't it? And very strong also. Yes, he clasps. He means, who is he here? The eagle. He clasps the crag with crooked hands. What do you mean by crag? Here the crag means high rock, isn't it? This is the rock. And the eagle just holding the rock very strongly with his crooked hands. This is the first sentences analysis or the meaning. Okay. And the next thing, close to the sun in lonely lands. There were no people, there were no any other birds, there were no any other animals or something. It was very lonely and close to the sun in lonely lands. when we were reading this particular line, we can get this particular image. I hope you can see the image, right? I hope you can see the image here, right, children? Yes, this particular image, okay, close to the sun. Here we can see the eagle was very close to the sun because it was a very high place, very, a kind of hill station, or it was on a rock, isn't it? Close to the sun in lonely lands. See, here we can find the attitude of the eagle, the power, the majestic values of the eagle, isn't it, children? See how powerfully the eagle was standing there. See, you can see that, the sun and the sky, and the eye of the eagle, and the powerfulness of the neck, the power of the looks, and everything that we could see here, right? The image, this is the image that we can get while we are reading these lines. Because of that particular reason, we could say this particular poem has the imaginary, isn't it? So we just discussed the first image is this: he clasps the crag with crooked hands, and close to the sun in lonely lands, and ringed with the azure world he stands. And this is the thing: ringed with the azure world he stands. As we discussed, what do you mean by rigged? Huh? What do you mean by rigged? Yes, rigged means, surrounded on all sides, and azure means bright blue. And when he was standing, and we could see the blue sky, and surrounded, all the surrounded, the blue sky, and he stands something like a power. He stands, with attitude. He stands with the majestic values, isn't it, children? Like a powerful bird it is. How powerful bird, I think when we were reading, ringed with the azure world he stands. So this is the picture, this is the image that you could get. That is the reason I'm giving these pictures to you, images, isn't it? And the first image is this: he clasps the crag with crooked hands, and close to the sun in lonely lands, and ring, isn't it? And rigged with azure world he stands. These are the three pictures. And then if we move on to the he claps the crag, and again that is what we're discussing, and this is the meanings. Okay, children. And what is the theme of the poem? The Eagle by Alfred Lord Tennyson. One of the prominent themes in this poem is that even the most majestic of creature, isn't it? One of the prominent themes in this poem is that even the most majestic of creatures, including people, have limitations. In poetry and literature, the eagle is often a symbol for majesty and power. Isn't it, children? And let's continue the next stanza of our poem. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. Isn't it? The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. He watches from his mountain walls, and like a thunderbolt he falls. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls, isn't it? This is, in the, the beneath his hands we could see a sea. Okay, children, a wrinkled sea beneath him crawls, and he watches from his mountain walls, and he watches everything. When he was standing on the mountain walls, he was watching the wrinkled sea. Wrinkled means, some kind of, our clothes are wrinkled sometimes when we are doing something with it, isn't it? So wrinkled sea, because of the waves, because of the air, everything made the sea wrinkled, isn't it? The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. He watches from his mountain walls, everything he was watching, and like a thunderbolt he falls. And when he was falling from the mountain walls, it was like a thunderbolt. What was a thunderbolt? A kind of a very very huge flash of lightning and the thunder sounds when he was falling into the sea, falling into the sea. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. He watches from his mountain walls, and like a thunderbolt he falls. And it was by Alfred Lord Tennyson. I hope you understood, children, right? Yes. So, what we can see here, the power, the majestic values, and the attitude of the eagle. It is very powerful bird, children. It is a very powerful bird. That is what we have to understand here. We have to be very powerful. We have to learn something from the eagle, right? The powerful. He won't be very frightened. He won't be very kind of small things or something. He is a the eagle behaves as a big one, and he doesn't care about anyone. He doesn't care about the weather. He doesn't care about anything, isn't it? He only cares about himself, the eagle himself. And here, describing the eagle, he clasps the crag with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely lands. Ringed with the azure world he stands, the wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. He watches from his mountain walls, and like a thunderbolt he falls. When he was falling, also, it was a thunderbolt. So, that is the attitude, that is the power of eagle. Isn't it, children? And I hope you all understood, and I hope you all understood the theme of the poem also. And please do write the work, the question and answers and the remaining work, whatever that you have in the textbook, isn't it? Reader. So please go through it and do finish the work as soon as possible, and please let me know after you finished it. Okay, children, and thank you very much for you watching this video. Okay, children, thank you so much. And again, I forgot to tell you one thing, that a theme of this particular poem is very important. Theme of the poem. What is the theme? The power of the eagle, the majestic value of the eagle was very very important. The attitude, isn't it, children? And thank you very much. We will discuss other remaining things. Bye, children.